Jeopardy! Season 41's Andrew Hayes has qualified for the Tournament of Champions, and he's had some incredible winning moments throughout the season. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching for more details. Jeopardy! Season 41's Andrew Hayes made a huge splash during his time on the show, emerging as one of the standout contestants of the season. With an exciting 7-game win streak under his belt, Andrew didn't just rack up prize money, he captured the attention of viewers with his quick-fire wit, deep knowledge, and unshakable composure under pressure. From his debut game to his final appearance, Andrew's run on the show was filled with unforgettable moments that showcased both his strategic gameplay and his winning personality. With a diverse roster of impressive players, few have matched Andrew's consistency and charisma. Whether Andrew was pulling off clutch moves with daily doubles or charming the Jeopardy! Host Ken Jennings with clever responses, he consistently delivered must-see TV. Fans praised him not just for his trivia prowess, but for how authentically he embraced the spirit of the game. Andrew struck a balance between competitive intensity and relatable humor, making each episode he played in more entertaining and engaging than the one prior to it. With his impressive 7-game win streak on the show, Andrew made it clear that he knew what it took to play and what it took to win the game. Andrew's victories weren't without their close calls during his impressive Jeopardy! Win streak. Throughout the stretch on screen, Andrew found himself in nail-biting Final Jeopardy! Scenarios, facing off against tough opponents who challenged him to raise his game. What ultimately set Andrew apart was his ability to stay calm and adapt his strategy on the fly, even when the scoreboard seemed stacked against him. His sharp instincts and encyclopedic recall earned him a well-deserved place in the current pantheon of fan-favorite champions, and landed him with a chance to compete in the upcoming Tournament of Champions on the long-running show. Andrew's tough final Jeopardy! Question. After going on a Jeopardy! Run that had long-time and casual viewers of the show excited, Andrew's final game in his 7-game win streak was a tough one. Coming up against Michelle Dolinsky and Stephen Hoying, Andrew had a tough game where he came in second place going into Final Jeopardy! While there was still a chance he could gain momentum on the final question and wager enough to be put in a position to get himself into the lead, there was a slim chance he would win the game. While Andrew was able to answer the question in the fictional characters category correctly, keeping himself in second place as host Ken looked to Stephen for his answer, it was clear that he was going to have a tough time catching up with the competitor who'd racked up nearly $30,000 throughout the game. Ultimately, Stephen answered the question correctly and maintained his lead, ending Andrew's run. While he was sad to be leaving Jeopardy! He certainly wasn't empty-handed. Andrew's high answer accuracy rate. According to the Jeopardy! Fan, Andrew's stats throughout his 7-game win streak were incredibly impressive, especially in terms of how many questions he answered correctly. While Andrew was often the first to buzz in on an answer, that doesn't always guarantee that his answer will be the correct one. Andrew's ability to move through the competition at a quick pace while giving the right answers was impeccable. In the span of 7 games, Andrew answered a total of 150 questions. In that 150 questions, Andrew answered 142 of them correctly, meaning he only answered 18 questions incorrectly across 7 games. While there have been other winners who have been more accurate, Andrew's accuracy level was incredibly high for someone moving through a stretch of 7 games. His prowess and accuracy were major parts of what kept him in the game for over a week. An exciting second Final Jeopardy! Question. Winning Jeopardy! In the first place is a massive achievement, as is even getting on the show, so Andrew was simply happy to be there when he got to the set and had the chance to compete. Shocked to have won his first game, Andrew moved into his second game with a bit more confidence. Though he wasn't overly cocky, Andrew knew that he could make it through a round of Jeopardy! With success, which helped bolster his second performance on the show. By the time Final Jeopardy! Hit, however, Andrew was in second place and trailing by over $10,000. Andrew's second game had an exciting finish with the category of World Museums, and though he appeared very stressed about the idea of getting into the winner's circle, he was also happy to be part of the show. When Andrew got the question correctly, he was just $1 ahead of the leader of the game, but it would take a fumble to win the game. Thankfully for Andrew, the contestant leading the game didn't know the answer, and had wagered a fair bit of money that kept Andrew comfortably in the winner's circle. A rare missed final Jeopardy question. On Andrew's 6th day in the competition, he had a comfortable lead by the time final Jeopardy arrived. With a strange category, places in the American past, Andrew and his fellow competitors had to work hard to think through the question in the 30-second allotment, and by the time that time was up, it was clear they all felt some level of confusion. Andrew's fellow Jeopardy! Contestants went first, and both were unable to get the right answer. When it came to Andrew, who had a $25,000 lead on both of his competitors, he knew he would win the game regardless of what he did unless he'd bet all of his winnings on his answer. Even so, Andrew wagered a safe amount of around $8,000 with his answer, but found that it was the wrong choice. Even though he lost Final Jeopardy, Andrew was able to come away with the win. An easy, exciting win. During Andrew's 4th day of competition, he had a close match with his competitors as he wasn't able to capitalize on as many daily doubles in order to bolster his lead. Going into Final Jeopardy with just a few $1,000s more than his closest competitor, the game was well within reach for either of his competitors if they were able to get the answer right and wager enough money. Andrew made it clear that he was ready to take risks to keep his Jeopardy game streak going. Wagering roughly half of his $17,000 earnings from the 2 rounds of play, Andrew responded with the correct answer to the question and, thankfully, was able to make it through to the next round. While he'd seemed nervous about his response at first, when it started to become clear that he was correct, he was happy to see that his competitors hadn't wagered enough to make a difference in the results. Andrew's 4th win was one he'd been hoping for.